Kansas City was tough and resilient and fighting their butt off. And they were clutch. 236 yards, fourth quarter and overtime. Another team, Indy, had a 29 lead in a fumble recovery and choked like a cat on a hairball. Daniel Jones, last 3 weeks, regressed into the New York Giant, Daniel Jones. Chiefs are not a great team, but they fight and scratch and claw, and they've still got that George Foreman punch. Okay, and dynasties do not usually end abruptly. Kobe and Shaq, they got to a final, lost to the Pistons, but they got there. And Brady, before he left, 12 games and a playoff appearance. And Manny Pacquiao, I was there against Dennis Thurman, won a fight at 40. Dynasties don't end abruptly. They fight, they scratch, they claw, little like Thanksgiving. Little bit of a mess, fire alarm goes off twice, but by the time the meal's delivered yesterday, it's pretty good. And that's Kansas City. Indy had this game wrapped. Get out the bow. Late shopping, it was done. But even then, the game was not about Daniel Jones and his ceiling. That was going to happen. Right? September, October, you get fooled a lot on quarterback play. Weather's perfect. Right? Your roster's not injured yet as a quarterback. You have all your weapons. Then all of a sudden you lose your number 2 receiver and your number 1 right tackle, and you're down to a third-string running back. Ask Justin Herbert last several years. Now Daniel Jones doesn't quite look like it did. And Kansas City doesn't look like they used to either. But the reality is dynasties do not die abruptly. Kansas City now has Denver at home, the Chargers at home, the Texans at home, and the Cowboys are probably feeling themselves, and they face Dallas next. Champions are about executing at their best. Tom Brady threw pick sixes in Super Bowls. You can have mistakes. That game was all about the fourth quarter and all about overtime. And in that space, fourth and overtime, the Chiefs had 14 points, 13 first downs, and 236 total yards. And the Colts had no points and no first downs.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm trying to read between the lines with what Colin is saying. He was a little bit more direct on his podcast last night, because when the Chiefs lost to the Broncos, it was pretty much like, see, this is over for the Chiefs. And then now, before going into that, he was like talking about how like, this is not over. The Chiefs are the best team, and they're head and shoulders the best team. That's what he said. He said they're the best team by a touchdown. And then he started to slowly get away from that. They lose to the Broncos. Then he's like, really, like, I told you, this team is, the dynasty's over. And now they beat the Colts, and it's just he comes out and says, hey, I'm betting on the Chiefs making the playoffs and winning playoff games. And he didn't come right out and say that here, but I was like kind of waiting to be like, which way, which direction are you going to take here? Like, where's this going? Where's this going? I think a game like this just continues to reinforce to me that again, at the end of the day, who are you going to trust most? I said this weeks ago when I saw the way how this season was unfolding, and that's why I tried to shift the conversation to be like, let's not keep focusing into the future. Let's not focus about the playoffs. Let's not talk about the biggest games, the biggest moments. Fourth quarter, 7 minutes to go, like, because I don't want to do that in week 3. I don't want to do that in week 7. Like, I just want to watch these games. I don't know what's going to happen to the Patriots. I don't know what's going to happen to the Colts or the Broncos or any of these other teams. And I'm just like, I just want to just enjoy what we're seeing right now in front of us, rather than constantly just being like, yeah, but what happens in the playoffs? Like, because then it's just, to me, it shrinks the conversation. But now that we're now getting to these moments, right, getting deeper into the season, it becomes all the more relevant. But I had kept saying throughout the whole course of this time, where it's just like, at the end of the day, I trust Andy Reid, Spags, and Patrick Mahomes more than that, more than any other trio. And, I made a Rams video just last night, saying, like, you could make the argument this season, because that you could trust Stafford and Stafford and McVay, that they're playing a little bit more consistently than what the Chiefs have been able to play, specifically this season. But then when you start adding, defenses and Spags, you're like, listen, Spa Spags is coming up huge, and make no mistake about it, we can say that all just Daniel Jones choking and this and that or whatever, and it's like, Spags dialing up the pressure at all the exact moments. Um, and so it's just that perfect balance. And I just think that the Kansas City Chiefs are. I know they're in the hunt and whatever, but it's like, did you see how the Jags played? I mean, did you see how much of a mess of a game that was? I mean, it was just a mess. Do you see the Ravens right now? Do you really feel strongly about the Baltimore Ravens, the Bills, right? The Chargers. Can the Chargers stay alive? I mean, they're so decimated with injuries. Can they legitimately stay alive? Um, and then you got the Broncos, a division rival, and the Patriots that are still very much an unknown. And again, the Patriots were one of the teams that I was just kind of like, I don't want to keep looking at it through the lens of unknown because I just want to enjoy what I'm seeing out of the Patriots. But again, at the end of the day, they are an unknown. And so it's just I'm thinking about making a list right now. Spoiler alert, the Chiefs are going to be at the top where it's just like, you know, list the teams that I trust the most, not the teams that I think are the best, not not the teams that I think have the best chances of winning the Super Bowl or this or that. It's just, who do I trust most? If I had to pick, look at these teams. What is this 10 teams right here, right? If I had to pick one team that I trust the most, that if you said, hey, everyone's going to play each other once right now, who do you think and who do you think comes away with the most wins, right? And it's just like, that's who wins the Super Bowl. Like, that's how this weird tournament works this time. Everyone's playing each other. Whoever gathers the most wins, boom, they win. Every game is essentially the Super Bowl, right? Every individual game is let's go, let's go, let's go. Who you got? And it's like, pick the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do I trust the most? Kansas City Chiefs. And so it's just that's what this comes down to. That's what this absolutely comes down to. Do they feel as potent as they had in the past? No. And now you saw that against the Indianapolis Colts. And if the Indianapolis Colts, were slightly better, if Daniel Jones was a slightly higher quality quarterback, they do win that game. To me, that was more about the Colts losing than the Chiefs winning. But there's a massive but there. This is how the Chiefs have consistently won for years, where it's just like, we're going to allow you to kind of eat yourself. It's not necessarily this prominent mistake where you throw a brutal interception or you fumble at the wrong time, but it's just like you're just not going to quite get the job done. And the fourth quarter showed that because all they did was need to score a little. They needed another field goal. They needed to convert a couple third downs. That's all they needed. And they do come away with that win. But they couldn't do it. They could not do it. And right now, like, there's not many teams that you can fully with your chest out say, I trust that they can do it, that they can get it done. Yes. Right now, it's really just the Chiefs. I'd say the Eagles, although obviously inconsistent, the Rams, and, you're like, maybe the Bills, I don't know. Like, we could say the Seahawks. And again, the Seahawks have been awesome. Great. They've been, one of my top teams. But, like, in terms of trust of, like, I know they can get it done, right? It's the NFC championship game, the AFC championship game. 3 minutes to go. Like, do I know they can do it? It's like, I don't know. And even with the Bills, it's like kind of a swing door. You're kind of like, can they not? Well, sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. And you're just like, I don't know. The Ravens once upon a time, but it's like, is Lamar healthy? What's the story here? Bowick's and the Broncos, they got to prove it. Drake May and the Patriots, they got to prove it. The Jags, I mean, I just, who knows? The Chargers, again, I don't know what version of the Chargers we're going to see over these next few weeks. And so if that's why I was kind of got the idea of like, I want to do a trust tier, a trust ranking, because that's where I'm at right now, with viewing the NFL, right? With viewing all these teams. It's just, it's just kind of where my, mind has shifted right now. So It's going to be a fascinating game against the Dallas Cowboys. I keep kind of going back and forth, what that game means to each in terms of like what we can learn. Obviously, both teams need to win really, really badly. But like, you know, the Cowboys notoriously play great against bad teams and always play, you know, the competitive against the division. And then it's like, because I said for the Cowboys, it's like, you know, that game, it's more important to see for me to see how you play against the Kansas City Chiefs than against the Philadelphia Eagles. But I could easily see the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Cowboys very convincingly. And it's just like, yeah, that's par for the course. And I think if the Chiefs struggle with Kansas City or if the Chiefs struggle with the Dallas Cowboys, I feel as though my gut tells me my takeaway would be that the Chiefs have just become who the Bills have been, who the Ravens have been, right? Like they're just not that separation, but they're just like, hey, we can win at any moment. We can absolutely get the job done in any moment. We got, you know, elite coaching, elite quarterback play, et cetera, et cetera. But like, we're just not what we were. We are just not that kind of arm's length of like, we can just little brother, we can just big brother every other team around that. We're just kind of more like who the Bills and the Ravens have been of years past, where it's kind of like, hey, at any given moment, we could be the greatest team we've ever seen. And in other moments, we're just kind of like, I don't know, you know, we can make this game interesting or not. So I'm excited for that game on Thursday. Also, obviously, anytime you get those short rest games can always get a little weird. So we'll see how that game unfolds. But yeah, we had a lot of exciting games this weekend. Overtime games, close games. But obviously a crucial win. Obviously for the Kansas City Chiefs. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs coming back to beat the Indianapolis Colts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.